I have put together just for you this marathon video of all of my decorating from last year while I'm getting ready for this year's spring season. And there's never before seen video of the master bedroom and also on the deck. Let's go ahead and do a little bit of decorating on my dining room table. A lot of you had told me that you didn't like when I covered over with a tablecloth, so I am going to leave it just open. It's an antique pine, and this is a farmhouse set from Kincaid Furniture called the Homecoming set. I wish I had got the hutch that went with this set, but maybe someday I will find it. This set is discontinued. Now these placemats I had got from Hobby Lobby on clearance at $2.24 each, and I picked up 4. I don't like my table to be too crowded. My place setting that I have an 8 place setting, but I'm only going to use 4, and the remainder of the 4 sets can go over on my hutch for spring and summer. And as most of you may know, I like to leave the 2 ends open so that when we fix our dinner plate, my husband and I will go to each end of the dinner table. They only had 2 napkins that matched the set, so I'm putting 1 at each end. Now, I love cloth napkins. I just hate the feel of paper napkins, and if you ever come to my house for dinner, you will always receive a cloth napkin. But I have so many of them, and I don't mind using them, and if they get stained up, maybe they go for a cleaning towel. These chargers I got at Hobby Lobby. They were also on clearance for $1.88, and I got 4 of those, and I just love the scallop design on these. And then I'm just going to add in my dishes, my plates, and I just love how the beaded plate over this scalloped charger, I love how it looks, and it just really gives it some style and dimension, not just everything plain, because I love the farmhouse style. And I love to layer things, so I'm going to go ahead and put these bread plates on top of the dinner plates, and then I'm going to add some bowls, some cups, and also some silverware. I also found this cutting board for $6.99 at Hobby Lobby. I didn't have that one, and I don't know if it's just new for this year, but since I knew I didn't have it, I went ahead and grabbed it, and I just love to use them as a centerpiece. I had this vase that I bought from Hobby Lobby many years ago. I just love that it looks like ironstone. I just love the shape of it, and I love the color of it. And what I want to add to it for this pre-spring decorating is some blackberry stems I also found at Hobby Lobby. And I wanted to place these because I was reading about dogwood winter, redbud winter, locust winter, blackberry winter, and one I never heard was britches winter. So you guys have to let me know, have you heard any of these? I think the dogwood winter usually falls during late April or early May. The redbud winter after they bud, mid-March or April. And blackberry winter is early to mid-May when they are full bloom. And the britches winter in late May, and that's when people knew that they could put away their winter garments and bring out their spring and summer items to be wore, and that is in late May. But I thought these cute little blackberry stems would just be wonderful during this time of the winter, because spring is coming, and even after we get the warm weather, we usually get a little bit of a cold spell, and sometimes it comes when the dogwoods are in bloom, and sometimes it comes when the blackberries are in bloom. So this is my little pre-spring dining room. I appreciate you guys being here, and I love each and every one of you, and I hope that you have a wonderful week, and I'll see you next week. Keep in mind, I am working on my declutter marathon, and I'll have that up for you shortly. Today, I'm just working on my mantle, guys. I'm not doing my whole living room. I will come back to it. But I got some items that I fell in love with, and I want these to be stable pieces on my mantle, probably through the rest of this year, maybe several years. Here's my wall art piece that I picked from Hobby Lobby. I just love it. I love the mat. And I'll give you a close-up at the end when I get done decorating my mantle. Next piece, I fell in love. You've seen me take pictures of when I was shopping Hobby Lobby. They had this on sale for $19.99. I think it was originally $38. And these two picks was that dark green floral that I had seen for $7.99 each. It was 40% off today. Now the vase wasn't anything off, it was just marked a red and yellow tag. The next item, I got some more of these aged vessels. This one was $25.99. And then the smaller vessel here was $14.99. So I wanted these grouped together. I thought they matched a whole lot of what was in the wall art up there. And, I'm just now putting this together. I didn't put it together before the video, so I will be moving things around here and there as I go. These candlesticks came from Kirkland several years ago, and I love the brass colors, so I brought them out, but I got some neutral beige colored candles, and they were $1.49 from Hobby Lobby today. It's so hard getting these candles to stand up straight. These next items came from Hobby Lobby also. They are a couple of books. I love the colors on them, and they have little storage areas in them. And I'm going to put the lighter one on top and put these up on my mantle. And I just love the colors of these. They match my wall art. And remember these bunnies that I picked up? Very neutral. They don't have a face to them. I just love them. And I know from a distance it sort of looks like it gets lost, but... And then this candle I got from Hobby Lobby. I love the color of the jar. I'm not going to light it today, but I will probably light it when I get ready to do my living room spring decorate with me. Actually, I'm going to move into the entryway next, but I just fell in love with all of this, and I wanted to change up my mantle. And this is more stable pieces that I have found, and they're going to stay up there. For the season, I'm going to add bunnies. I may add a pumpkin for fall, but not going to change a whole lot of it. And just moving everything around, trying to get that look that I really like. And this is it. Let me know what you guys think. Hey sweet friends, welcome back. If you happen to be new here, my name's Rebecca, welcome. I'm in my living room and I already did a video and decorated the mantle, and I love the way it turned out. I haven't touched or changed a thing, but I don't have a whole lot that I'm doing here in my living room. I've got some pillow covers. These are the pillow covers that I ordered from Amazon.com last year. They're a embroidered type with some neutral colored, little blue, little yellow, little brown. And I love how these look. I love the thickness. I love the piping that goes around them. I'm going to use them again this year. I'm going to save a little money. For my two chairs, I did move them over here. So far, I like them over there. A lot of you let me know that you liked them over there as well, instead of on each side of the fireplace. So it's a test run. I don't know how long they'll stay there. I do have a couple of little muted green lumbar style pillow covers. I'm going to see if I can find some pillows to go in these. And it's going to go on each one of the chairs for spring. I'm not sure what I'm going to do at the bottom of my fireplace. I've got a little bit of decoration over there, and I'm not sure. Spring and summer is a lot less decorating than fall and winter. So let me go ahead and get started. Let's start over here on my tan striped chairs. And I have a couple of pillows. I may add a throw blanket to the mix later, but I just love these light green, muted colored check pillows. Gives me that farmhouse feel in my modern farmhouse. I'm sure you guys didn't mind. I went ahead and put the pillow covers on. I don't think you're interested in watching me struggle get a pillow cover on in the pillowcases. So here they are for my sofa and a throw blanket to add to the mix. I added this little bowl with the Professor Bunny and some lavender in the bowl. And I seen this on Pinterest. It inspired me. I thought it was adorable. And this is what I come up with. And this is going under my end table. Now on my other end table is a watering can that I had purchased many years ago from Hobby Lobby. I still love it. I love bringing it out in the springtime. Sometimes it's on my porch and sometimes it's inside, but I'm going to put these magnolia flowers that I got from Hobby Lobby many years ago and put this under the other end table. Not too much is going to change over here. I'll no longer have that chair sitting in front of that window there on the left. I wish I could hide those wires
but I have to deal with them, so I'm just gonna go ahead and put up just about everything that I had there before. Maybe adobo is a lighter shade of adobo with some greenery in it, and not too much is gonna change. Okay, I just added my clock that I thrifted back on there. I love looking at that clock. And then our photograph, I'll show you a close-up. It's our first trip to Hawaii when Larry and I went to see the waterfalls there. And we also took a helicopter ride, and believe it or not, I took that helicopter ride in that skirt. I don't know, it was hot. A skirt was very, very cool there. Anyway, my plant, it's a little droopy. I just watered it. It'll liven back up here in just a little bit. And then the 2 vases came from Hobby Lobby. I love those. And I hid those wires as much as I could. Down on the top shelf there is just a light colored adobo with some green, I think they call it asparagus type leaves. Just a muted greenery there. And then we just have our DVD player down there because we still occasionally watch some of our DVDs of our favorite movies. So that will remain there. All right, I want to move over to the fireplace and to the back door window. It's very simple, guys. I put a plant there on the right, a bunny. I thought I was going to use that little stool sitting in the background there on the left, but it's a little bit too dark for spring. I brought out a little basket. Those are handmade tulips that I had sown many years ago. And if it's something you would be interested in making, I'll put the link in the description box below, but I handmade those. But I want the focus to go upward at my mantle and above instead of below. Yeah, I may do something more with the bunny. He needs to stand out more. I may find a basket for him to sit in or something like that. I don't really want any more florals. Like I said, I want the eyes to be drawn up to the mantle and to the upper part of the fireplace because it's just not pretty when it's not being used. But those birchwood logs were some that we had found, and I just use them for decoration. I take them out in the winter because we do use our fireplace. Before I talk about the curtains I'm going to put up at this door, I need to clean this door. It just had weather and it's just so dirty, mainly on the outside, but I'm going to do the inside too. Now the curtains that I'm putting up here was some that I had in the bedroom when we first moved here. I had a farmhouse style blue ticking cover and pillows, and I was going to take them down to the booth, but I thought they might look good up on my back door. They're a dark navy plaid, navy and white, navy blue and white plaid curtains. But you guys have to let me know because I've got these ivory linen curtains, the windows right next to this door. And just let me know if you think these just look too heavy. Maybe they're just too much. I usually put a valance up here and usually a tan and white stripe for the spring and the summer, which it would match the chairs that are sitting here next to the window and the door. Now you guys have to let me know, do you think that these curtains at this door, being in a blue plaid, blue and white, it's too heavy looking for summer, spring and summer, because I would probably leave them up for both. I do like that part that's gathered. Let me show you up close. And then this is what they look like. They're plaid. But you guys have to let me know, yay or nay. It looks like I need to straighten up the left side a little bit more, and I think I can get up there and do that. But let me go ahead and show you the rest of the room. let's decorate my entry here, my bench, my arches. And I did take the tree out this year, or for this season anyway. I think I'm actually gonna put that on the back deck. We're gonna try to get that screened in, and I'm gonna move that little tree that was sitting there all year. It's gonna go out on the deck. So I moved my floor lantern over here. Now, most of you guys know that I love my florals, especially for spring. And these wreaths came from Hobby Lobby, and I think they still sell them this year. So I think that my arches look a little bare, so I want to put these wreaths up there and just give them an added little touch to the spring season. For my bench, I'm so undecisive on this. I have this sort of like a sage green striped and ivory blanket, and I'm going to fold this up, put it on the bench. I have the pillow, the new pillow that I purchased from Hobby Lobby this year, and it's a cute little floral pillow, and it has all kinds of color to it. It's got some pinks and greens and yellows. I have even more florals. I have this farmhouse style metal vase, and I have these picks from Hobby Lobby. They are the hydrangeas in the white, and one is a little off-white. A couple of them are. So I'm going to put all these together, and this is going to go over in my lantern. I think I had it in there last year. I love it so much that I'm going to put that back. I don't want to buy anything new because I still love these. And if you have something that you still love each and every year, bring it out and use it and save yourself some money like I do. I think that this mirror is just too dark for the season. It just makes everything look so heavy. And I think I'm going to find a different place for it. I thrifted these little plates back in the summer. When I seen them at a yard sale, I just thought somebody would love them, and I actually priced them and took them down to the booth, but nobody bought them. They're home interior. I don't know how old they are, but they're just pristine, no chips, no scratches. I put these little hangers on it, and I'm going to hang this above my hook for the spring and possibly run with it through the summer. But I just love the little lace design on the edge of these plates, and I just love the color for spring. I added this light colored basket tray, wicker tray, along with some lavender, and here are those little thrifted plates hanging above my hooks. I love how it turned out. I think I'm going to love seeing this for the spring. Now I have to tell you, I am not crazy about that throw blanket there. I did bring out a yellow striped pillow just to add a little more depth to my bench, but I think I'm going to remove that throw blanket and maybe just not have one there at all for the spring season anyway. I don't know if I'll bring one out for the summer, but do love those little plates that I put up on the wall this year. I'm really pleased with that. Now I purchased this, and I believe it was Hobby Lobby. But if you guys remember, I tried to look back and see where I got this. I'm thinking that I bought it at Hobby Lobby one spring, but I used it on this table last year. I loved the outcome, so I'm adding it again this year. For my centerpiece on my console, I have this, what I call an egg basket. And I thrifted this, and I've used it before on my buffet, put eggs in it just as a farmhouse look, and I love it. I can't remember, I think I gave $1 for it, but I'm taking these florals
And I'm just going to place them throughout the basket. I'm not putting any kind of styrofoam in it or anything. There's going to be so many in it that you're not even going to see the stems in the bottom. I also have some white Real Touch tulips that I got from Amazon.com. If you're looking for those type of flowers, I do have them listed under my Amazon storefront, and you can find all of that information in my description box. But I think I have about 12 of these, and I'm just going to drop them in throughout. I'm going to add this bouquet to my console table and add a couple of more things, and we'll have that all done. I added the concrete looking bunny there on the left, but I found a cloche and I thought I might like that. I put this little white bunny in it and I'm just not satisfied with that. So I went out on the deck and I found these little terracotta seedling pods, and I'm going to put them in this cloche. I do this very carefully, guys. I'm going to show you how I do it. Now just gently turn, roll it, and start bringing it right side up, just a little at a time, so it doesn't break the glass. And you can just do this very easily. And once they're settled, then you can set it down. Voila! It's just that simple. I have placed my two largest crocks on each side of the console here. They're going to remain there until the Hoosier cabinet gets done, and then all of my crocks are going to go over there. But I love how the top of this console turned out. I love my arrangement. I love the little terracotta seedling pods in the cloche, but I'm not satisfied with the bottom. I put some dough bowls in the basket, but they're sort of hidden and they're getting lost. So I want to do something different. I'm going to leave my farmer's market pillow there on the left. I think I'm going to add those dough bowls in my crock there on the right. I sort of like how that looks, although I might put something in the bottom and raise them up just a little bit more. But overall, I like how my console has turned out. I'm not crazy about my bench this year, but here's what it's all turned out to look like. The first thing I want to do on the top of my hutch is change out my wall hanging. And I purchased this flower market sign from Hobby Lobby years ago. I love it. I love it out on my back porch over my potting bench.
in the summer, and I love to use it in my home for the spring. And I just want this hutch to look like it is just bursting with flowers for the season, all the tulips and other flowers that come up during the spring season. So let's go ahead and get the top of this decorated. The first thing I'm bringing in is this little picnic basket that I thrifted last summer, and I added it to my picnic basket collection, although I don't have it out in my dining room this year. I'm bringing the smaller basket out and putting some, I believe they look like cherry blossoms. Next, I'm bringing in some ironstone pitchers, one on each side. The one on the right is from Hobby Lobby years ago. The one on the left was thrifted, and it was a pottery barn find at Goodwill. And I love them both, and I just added some more tulips. Those are the Real Touch tulips that I got off of Amazon.com. If it's something you might be looking for, go check out my link in the description, and you'll be able to find it under Spring Favorites. All right, let's move on down to the next shelf. Oh my, I almost forgot. I have these little colored eggs from Hobby Lobby. I got them last year. They're carrying them again this year. I wanted to bring another little pop of color for Easter and for spring, and I thought those just looked adorable up there. On my second shelf down, as my backdrop, I have two ironstone plates. No, they don't match. I thrifted them. I love them. And then just a cutting board that I got from Hobby Lobby. Let me add some more things in front of it. On the second shelf, you can see my backdrop, and I had this little like bird cage that I got from, I believe from Hobby Lobby. And anyway, I put a couple of little Hobby Lobby bunnies in there. On the left, I have some ironstone. I have a small crock with a wooden scoop, and the scoop came from Hobby Lobby. The little creamer with the old silverware in it, vintage silverware I thrifted at a yard sale, and I decided to keep it instead of sell it. And I just love when I get to display it on my hutch. And then in front of the cutting board, those are the dishes that were from the airlines. They used to serve them first class on the airlines, and I thrifted those. Happy to find them. I just added a bunny on top of those stacked ironstone dishes. Now you can see I already have a plate on the next shelf down, and that's going to be part of my backdrop. And let's continue on with decorating my hutch for spring. Just a couple more backdrop pieces on that shelf, and that on the right is a Great Harvest cutting board that I thrifted last summer. The thing on the left is like a little white tobacco basket from Hobby Lobby years ago, and I love using that as a backdrop occasionally on my hutch. Now on the front of that third shelf down, you can see I moved some things around. I put my old scale up on the upper shelf, and I moved the ironstone airline platters down with the bunny. On the right is a cloche that I thrifted at a yard sale for 50 cents, and I put some of those little baskets that you got over in the craft section of Hobby Lobby, and I'll show you a close-up here when I get done. There on the left, crock with a nest and egg in it. In the porcelain cup is some Easter grass, as I call it, And then I have my cow creamer, and I think that that's just enough for that shelf. Let's move on down to the bottom shelf of the hutch. Some of you may not know, but Larry made this for me. He did order the legs, but everything else was from wood out in the shop. I think he even had the beadboard on hand that is on the back of the hutch, but my husband made this. I showed him one that I liked, and he went out there and he created. I have had this for quite a few years. I still love it. He even created 3 little drawers at the bottom of it. You can see them right there. And I store little trinkets in there as well. So let's go ahead and decorate the bottom shelf. As a backdrop for my bottom shelf, I have this tobacco basket. I believe I thrifted it for $1. And let's continue on and add a few more things on the bottom of the hutch. Now, to me, a true hutch has some dishes on it. And although I had the ironstone platters and the silverware and the cutting boards, I just wanted to add these dishes, and I only use 4 for my dining room table. So the others that I have is going over here. Okay, how cute are those cups with the little linen looking carrots? Each cup has 3 carrots in it, and I added a bunny in between. Looks like I'm short 1 cup. Maybe I broke a plate and a cup, not sure. I've had them for quite some time. But over on the right is a cake plate. The last 2 items I added to this shelf is the paper whites in a small crock, and I just love bringing those out every year. I order them online, and I just love them. I put some little moss in the bottom of the crock, and I'll show you a close-up of that here in just a moment. And in the background is a very thankful bunny. So let's go ahead and decorate down on the floor underneath the hutch. Under my hutch, I do like to store some of my old crocks that I have thrifted. I have a number 3 crock on this plant stand that I got from Lowe's, and I have all of my vintage rolling pins displayed in there. On the little plant stand setting behind that is another small crock with all of my potato mashers that I have thrifted. And I have 4 in there for now. And then the number 2 crock doesn't have anything at all in it. I like how it looks, but I have a couple of more items that I want to add for the season. The couple of items that I added under there was another crock with some yellow flowers. I wanted this to be a truly flower market hutch, and I think that I have achieved that with these yellow flowers sitting down here in the crock. Also, the little bench that we thrifted at a yard sale last summer, it had a broken leg. Larry fixed it. You probably see me display something on it near my fireplace. I love this little vintage riser or bench or whatever you want to call it. And we didn't do anything to it. He just repaired the leg, and that's the way it looks. And I added a little wooden and metal rustic bunny to the mix. Now let's move over to my dining room table. Although I had already did a spring dining room table, I will be using those same items. I will just have a different centerpiece. So let's move over to the dining room table. Okay, over here on my dining room table, this is what you guys remember. Actually, I have cleaned off the table, flipped over the placemats to the other side. I really do like these. This may be just appropriate for spring into summer, but I had a few items that I wanted to add to the center of my table. And they were a couple of items that I totally forgot to share with you. First off, I want to share this anthropology vase that I had ordered online. I have used it in my master bath. I have used it in my master bedroom. I have brought it out here in the dining room before, and here it is again. I still love it. I know they had them in a black, but I love the white and all the little knobs on it. And this thing is really thick, really heavy, and I'm going to add it as my centerpiece. I have a few more items to add. It wouldn't be Easter without a bunny, and I had tied a cute little green ribbon around his neck just to give a little pop of color. And here he is sitting on my dining room table. I got this one from Hobby Lobby, and I love the size of it. It's not too big and not too small where it gets lost among everything. So I have a couple of more items to add to my table. Over here in the center of my table, these were new items. They were on clearance. The little old decanter and the butter dish from Hobby Lobby this year. I love them both. I love the color, and I'm probably going to leave this throughout the summer. I've got one more item that I want to add. After moving everything over just a little bit and centering it in my table, I wanted to add this cutting board. This is a new cutting board I got from Hobby Lobby this year for $6.99. I love it. I love the size. I love the color. And I decided to put a ironstone creamer right there. If we want to put some cream in there while we're having our coffee at the table, I just love the idea. And there is my dining room for spring of 2025. Let me show you what it all turned out to be. I just want to thank you all so very much for staying to the end of this video. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to leave me a thumbs up and leave me a comment that lets me know that you watched.
Today I'm over here on my buffet and my wall shelf. And what I'm doing here is I have these vases from Hobby Lobby, and I got 2 for my mantle. But I also got this floral print with flowers and butterflies on it. And I'm going to have to get Larry to hang that up for me because I'm just too short. And he'll come in and put it up on that nail. But I wanted to decorate this in what I call a rose. I know it looks pink, but it is considered a rose, and it's one of the pastel colors. Well, after putting everything together, I'm trying to find something on this end that's going to look appropriate, and I think that the white just stands out too much because I have a lot of creams and ivories and browns, and I just think that the white is a little too stark. But before I even finish, I decide that I just literally want to start all over. I originally had ordered some tea towels from Amazon.com in a rose color, and I'll put a picture of those right up here. But they didn't send me the tea towels, they sent me a tablecloth, and I had to return it. So overall, I'm not pleased with this. I put some little brown bunnies, and they really pop up there, but I'm just not pleased with this. And so I just want to start over and start from scratch. But you can let me know what you think about this, but I just think that it's just a little overwhelming. Up there, the florals and the tall vases and the small picture, and so I don't know. I just want to start over. Now, starting over, I did leave the picture up there above the shelf. That was new from Hobby Lobby this year, and I love the color. I love the pastel colors in it. And I went ahead and I left the wooden spoon and the cutting board there. Now, since I didn't get my towels that I originally wanted from Amazon, I had these on hand, so I got them out in a beige. They're a check and a plaid and a stripe, and I just love all of them mixed together right there next to the cutting board. And this little wreath, this is one that I made, and at the end of this video, I'll also leave a timestamp. I'll show you how I made that, and I wanted a neutral, natural wreath that I could hang on my pegs here, and this is what I came up with. The next item is another little cutting board. This one I got from Hobby Lobby this year for $6.99. I just love the size of it, and I just love the color, and I just love the style of these cutting boards, the natural wood that it adds to my home decor. Now, I did move the lamp over to the right-hand side. I plugged it up, and I just like how, you know, it gives that glow when it's turned on of the early evenings. And I added the crock with all my favorite wooden spoons and just a few other things in there. And I set that on one of those wood rounds. The little basket of eggs, I fell in love with this basket. I found it thrifting, and it's actually square. It's not round, although it looks round, but I'll give you a close-up a little bit later. But I just put some natural color eggs in there, and I just thought it really added to my setting here on my buffet. And the next items is the little chocolate bunnies. I wanted them to show up, so I just brought them down in between the basket and the crock, and I think they just really pop with that dark brown color. The next items are two throws that I have. I have one in a rose and I have one in a sage green. And I put them both on the ladder, putting the rose on top because I think it just brings out those wood tones. Up at the top, I just added a couple of cutting boards on each side of the wall art, and I added a whole array of all of my creamers and pictures, and I just sort of like this a lot better. Here it is, how it all turned out. You have to let me know in the comment what you think or which one you liked better. Okay guys, this is some of the things that I have for my kitchen decorating. I may not use all of them, we'll see. It depends on how much I get up on my shelves. I also have some yellow buffalo check curtains to go up. I do need to press them. They've been folded up and stored away. I will add a rug, and that's what I have for my spring kitchen decorating. So let's go ahead and get started with some decorating. Now you guys know that I can't hang my curtains with any kind of wrinkles. They've been folded and put away, so when I want to press that out, I don't want wrinkles in my curtains or in my clothes or even on my face. Unfortunately, I can't iron those out on my face. But for now, let's de-wrinkle the curtains before I hang them up in my spring kitchen. I have these yellow plaid, yellow white curtains that I want to hang in my kitchen just for something bright. I've used these in my kitchen before, and I just love the color and the brightness. I have a few spring items to put up on my shelves and in my kitchen. I actually did put my KitchenAid mixer away for a while and thought maybe I might try to decorate in that corner. Maybe I'll put a lamp in there. It is a little dark. Hanging up the curtains, I get up there and figure out, I'm not going to be able to reach that because I definitely don't want to step in my sink or stand on my countertop. And usually Mr. Fix-It helps me, but he's out at the workshop working today. He is making me a skinny bench. And when he gets it done, I'll share that video link so you can go watch how he made it. I can't wait to see it. I haven't got to see it yet. But yep, tongs are one of the best things for hanging curtains in my home anyway. Moving over to my barnwood shelves here in my kitchen. Things don't ever turn out the way you want. I get on Pinterest, I'm looking, I'm thinking, oh, this idea's cute, this idea's cute. And then I start looking at some of the things that I have to put up on my shelves, and it doesn't turn out the same. Never does it turn out in Pinterest. However, I'm using what I have on hand and just adding a few things up on the shelf along with just a little bit of floral. I'm adding some white linen towels in my chicken wire shelf that I got from Hobby Lobby. But that yellow one won't stay there. When I realize that I don't have very many spring colored tea towels, and I need one to go on my hook there at the end of the counter. Now I got these cute little plates from Hobby Lobby from their spring collection this year, and since I've got more yellow, I'm going to leave the yellow one out in the front. These are my new jars. I don't have anything in them yet. I'm waiting on the seals to arrive so that it will be safe to put food in those. And over here to the end of my cabinets where I have some hooks. If you remember, I got the large cutting board. I wanted it up on the shelf, but I didn't feel safe. And that white linen towel is not going to stay there. I just don't like it. I am adding my rug back in here. And here I am changing out that tea towel to a yellow checked one that will match the curtains. For my countertop, I have this wicker basket that I got on vacation in Tennessee. And this is my new candle that I got from At Home. And I want to put that along with some buttercream tulips. I don't know, I think that flame is just too close to those tulips. So I think I'm going to have to do something a little different. Maybe when it has a lid on it, I can put it there. But for now, this is the way it's going to be. Over here in the apron, I'm just going to add a little bunny in the pocket. I think I did this last year, but I loved it so much. And on my kitchen stool is that bird cage that I thrifted for $3. I have a few cutting boards that I need to place throughout my kitchen, and then I'm going to give you a kitchen tour of how it all came out for now.
Okay guys, this is my spring 2025 kitchen. If you remember, I thrifted that cage at a yard sale for $3. Tried to clean it up, still didn't like it. Larry took it out to the shop, spray painted it for me, and look how amazing it looks. I added a little bunny in the pocket. I think I did that last year. And I do love my Land of Blessings calendar. Coming around here, you remember my large cutting board. I wanted it up on the shelf, but if it falls, it would be disastrous. So I don't know, I sort of like it right there. I did change out the towel to something that was going to match the curtains. Lit up my candle from At Home in the farmhouse mahogany. It just smells amazing. And got some butter, looks like buttercream tulips. That's what I call them. Over on my shelf is just some linen towels, my Raydon butter dish, and bunnies, along with a few thrifted vintage items. Up on the shelf is my thrifted Pillsbury all-purpose flour canister. and just got some little florals, bunnies, birds, and an egg, a Raydon egg that says spring. Up at the top, I thought that bunny would pop in front of that tray, and I added the bird in the cage along with just a few florals. My market sign remains up there. I still like it. I still love it. And I did change out the color of curtains. The plates was from Hobby Lobby. I love the pop of color. I did originally put a bunny in there, but I like the plant in there instead. Of course, my coffee station, it just gets used twice a day, and it has stuff sitting around it all the time. Real life, folks. I did remove my KitchenAid mixer from that corner. I haven't been using it, and I thought I might like that space to decorate, but as you can see, I didn't do a whole lot there. Some cutting boards, my crock with all my utensils that I use daily. In this kitchen we lick the spoon was a sign that I made years ago. And just up there is some farmhouse chickens from Hobby Lobby. They may still sell those. And I thrifted that little green vase and just put some florals in it. Just something simple up there. And then my everyday use of butter dish, my spoon rest, salt and pepper. And these are my new containers that I got at home. I haven't put anything in them. I think I'm going to put some flour in one, sugar in another, and see if I can't find me some cups that will fit in there. And I always like how I've seen how others did that. I really like it, and I want to see if I can find something for spring to go in there. I'm actually waiting for the seals. They don't come with seals, so a lot of people have a lot of concerns storing food. If I do store food, it's going to be something that's going to be used up really quick. But for now, I just clean them up and they're just ready to go. And I added just ceramic bunny, and that little egg is new from Hobby Lobby this year. I really like it. I didn't change anything up top of my cabinets, but this is what it looks like. I did add the rug. That I had it rolled up, but the edges, it will flatten out by the end of the day. And I just love that in my kitchen. All right, next I'm moving into the master bedroom, doing a little decorating maybe in there, maybe just a spring refresh. I'm also working on getting a spring cleaning video for you. I'll move out to my front porch and then to my deck, and then after that we will do a home tour.
For spring of this year, there's not a whole lot that's going to change here in my master bedroom. I am wanting to change out my bedding to this. It's a Piper Classic blue ticking striped bedding that I've had for several years, and I like to bring this out for spring and summer. I just love the blue. I'll go into more of a sage green for the fall, and then of course the holidays I change out to more of red or a deep green. But I did change out this picture frame. I had a brass one and it just kept falling apart after 20 years. So I found this crystal one, so I went ahead and put our picture in there. And that's a picture on our wedding day. And the little tray came from Hobby Lobby. The vase was thrifted, and the yellow flowers is from Hobby Lobby. Might have got those from Amazon. And I thrifted the little candle holder, and that's a battery operated candle. I love how that glows of the evening. Over here on my chair, I just threw a throw blanket if I want to sit there and read. I do like to put a coverlet over my legs. And then for the vase there on the floor is just some green florals. Up here it's just very clean and simple for spring and summer. The clock I've had for several years from Hobby Lobby. The big floor vase, wicker vase, came from Hobby Lobby years ago. And over here on my wall, on my peg hook, I just added this little burlap bag with some thistle stems, and I believe those came from Hobby Lobby. And the baskets are thrifted, and the hat I think I found at Hobby Lobby. And so is the barn wall art from Hobby Lobby. And then over here in my bathroom, I just added the vase that I thrifted. All of that stuff was thrifted. I've got my Q-tips in it. I've got my dental floss in it, my makeup brushes, and the little lamp I got while we were on vacation in Tennessee. I picked that up from Old Time Pottery down there. Added a few stems, and that's all that I'm doing to my bathroom in there. Nothing much has changed here. I still got the same photo frame from Hobby Lobby many, many years ago. And I did put down my blue rug to go with my blue bedding. And then this pillow, I turned it backwards. It says farmhouse on the other side, but I just put it on the blue and white stripe that I have there, but I'll flip it over and show you. Sometimes I wish it said cottage on the other side. It's almost getting harder to determine which is farmhouse and which is cottage anymore, so I usually put cottage farmhouse. And then over here on the floor, I just added this. This thing is very heavy. It's like a leaf, like an oak leaf, and it's very heavy. I'm using it as a doorstop because ever since I asked Larry to oil the hinges because they were getting squeaky, the door won't stay open. So I'm going to use that as a doorstop. And this is what it's going to be. I didn't even put a throw blanket over the bed. I used that white cabinet that I did some trading many years ago from a lady that run a gift shop. And I call it my candle cabinet over there by the window. And of course the big black box is always the ugly thing in the room. I didn't put anything up on the screen, but we did put a larger TV in this room.
So guys, we are finally getting a break in the weather where I can get out to my front porch. Usually my front porch is the last in the spring to get decorated and the first in the fall to get decorated.
So I thought I would share a little bit of what we've been dealing with here in Kentucky. This river here we cross over every time we go to Danville and back. Last summer, we seen what I call the sandbars, the bottom of this river, and I just feel for those families down there that is just coming up in their backyard. So yeah, we've been dealing with a lot of rain here in Kentucky, and just pray for those families who have lost loved ones and lost their homes. Speaking of home, in between all the rain, we're finally getting out to the front porch and going to be able to get some decorating and cleaning done. But on my front porch, I'd like to get a few plants for my Fairfield tall black planters, and also for one flower pot that I have that I set out there. Usually for my Fairfield planters, I'm looking for the red mandavillas. Look at this idea. Someone had a great idea of putting a mailbox out there amongst all the flowers. That's just genius. Sort of lets people know how they're going to look around your own mailbox. But I missed these last year, and these are the red mandavillas, and I love them. I had them 1 year prior to, I think, last year, and they were just beautiful. And if you remember, I had picked up some tomato plant cages from Home Depot, and I'm going to turn them upside down for these mandavillas to climb up from my black Fairfield planters on my front porch. I would love, love, love to have some of these potato vines, but I thought they were a bit too pricey. They wanted $15 for just that little container. And I don't know how I missed this sign, 2 for $20. I just bought one this year. Usually I'll put them in my Fairfield planters till I figure out what I'm going to put in them. But this year I'm just trying to buy what I need, one trip. But the selection, it's always so hard. There's so many beautiful plants. And these geraniums are pretty. I had some last year, but they take a lot of water and a lot of time to keep them in bloom. I did pick up some of these this year. I'm going to try these and see what they look like. So these were just like $4 a container. So back home, after picking out my flowers, and you can see those ones sitting there in front of the black Fairfield planter, and I just need to get them in the pots, and I'll probably give them some plant food each month so I can get them to grow a little bit quicker and climb up those tomato cages like I want them to. So hopefully maybe they'll be grown up a little bit when I do my summer home tour. But right now I'm working on the spring. And of course Larry's bringing up this porch sign that says spring, because we like to announce to everybody that it's spring by having a big sign on the front porch. But I'm trying to get my pillow inserts in my pillow, and the first time I came out I had the wrong pillow, so I had to take them back and get the right ones. So these are sort of big and fluffy, and to make sure that they don't blow away in the weather, I put a rock in the bottom. Now if I have company, usually we take the pillows off of the rockers, or if somebody wants to use it, I'll take the rocks so nobody's sitting on it. But when we have a storm, everybody's pillows are blowing around the neighborhood, but not mine. They got a rock inside the zipper part, and they stay on my rockers and on my bench. And I've been doing that for years because we get the wind across this porch. And this porch being as big as it is, I love a wraparound porch, but this isn't a wraparound. This is just a straight porch. But it's very long and it takes a lot of decorating. I'm just putting up my spring flag that I've had for years, and it matches my pillow that I put on my bench. And I'm just going to use it. I like to reuse my seasonal flag until it fades or it rips due to the weather. But I'll continually use that until, I see one that I just can't live without. So, and the wreath is one that I made several years ago, and it's got the little flower pots on it, and I still love it, and I'm going to use it. Now you can see a few weeds in our landscape because all of the rain, we're just trying to get out and work in between all of the rain this spring. And those little plants haven't even been planted in there yet, but I'll get to those. And I put my fern in the wheelbarrow there, and I brought out my green floral pillows. I love that color. I love it on my rockers. And then there is my mandevillas in the black Fairfield planters. And I just put the little church birdhouse there on the black chair and added my bicycle up there. I took down the black welcome sign. Let's move on to my back deck. It's time to refresh it a little. If you guys remember, I had showed you that I picked up this big wreath on sale down at Vendor Village for 50% off. I took all of the little baskets off of it because I'm spraying it with Dawn, and I want to get it cleaned up. It's just too dusty. And to hang it up on my tobacco basket on my back porch, I want to get it clean. So while Larry's out there spraying that out in the yard, I'm going to go ahead and get these plants in my planter. I usually get the pink mandevillas. Very pretty hummingbirds. Always love it. But I got something a little different this year, and this is the yellow hibiscus. I just love yellow plants. I love yellow flowers. So I'm going to give this a try, and I want to make sure that it gets set down in the dirt enough that none of the roots are coming up through the pot because it will dry it out. We have no shade back here other than what's under the porch portion of this deck. So the plant gets plenty of sun, and in this other planter, I had went to Home Depot and I got these wildflowers, and it's the butterflies and hummingbirds are supposed to love this. So it's sort of just a mixture, and I will put it on the top and then just lightly move all of that around and water it, and these plants will pop up. A variety of plants that the butterflies and the little birds are going to like. Moving over here to my potting bench. I haven't decorated it yet, but I'm hoping to do a few things out here with it. But for now, I've got to get these plants in the pots Because what you seen earlier sitting on my front porch, they were just sort of sitting in there, and I had not put any of the soil in there yet. So I have to get these in soil and keep them watered, and I'll probably give them some plant food each month. The first of the month is just a great time for me to remember to feed all of my blooming plants all around the property. Larry's given them some water, and we'll take them around front and put them in the flower pots out front. And that's all that I'm going to do, because it's a lot of upkeep to keep them watered each day. So I'm going to go ahead and pick all of these little baskets up, because if we get another storm, and you can see the clouds in the background there, these will definitely blow all over the neighborhood. So this is the evening. I come out and my wreath is dry, ready for me to work on it. And I didn't realize that the wreath had a very sharp stem, and it poked a hole in the cover there for the fire pit. So now I'm going to have to get that mended. I wanted to make sure that this wreath was dust free, and I'm going to add all of the little baskets back. Some of them had some glue on it, and I cleaned the glue off of them and took some floral wire and put them back on, and I'm going to hang this up on my tobacco basket. And this is something that's probably just going to stay. I fell in love with this when I seen it. It was very dusty, and when she marked 50% off of it, I didn't pass it up. I paid $17.50 for it. And now what I need to do is get it up on the tobacco basket hanging on the porch, and I'll show you everything when I get my potting bench decorated, and I'll show you an overall of how everything turned out here on my deck for the spring.
Okay guys, welcome to my deck for the spring. It's cloudy out there, lots of rain of course, but here we have it all set up. Brought a rug out. There's our chairs. They swivel rockers. We love them. There is that wreath that I cleaned up, redid, and hung it up on my tobacco basket. The rake is something that I got down at Vendor Village. Over here, I put the flower market sign up on my potting bin. I have my dirt in that little trash can there. My watering can that I thrifted from Vendor Village. It's I think magnolia, and I think it's so pretty. I love it. My flower seeds are in there. Over here, you can see a couple of snakes back there. We keep them out to keep the birds away from making a mess. And I did a few little plants out here in our sitting area out here. And we got a few coming up. That's a beautiful pink begonia and some wildflowers coming up there. There's my garden out there. Over here, Mr. Fix-It's Grill. And then over here, I do have another little plant. I've had that little cement flower pot by my sink for a couple of years, and I brought it out here, and I love it out here. A couple extra seating for company. I've got some wildflowers planted in here, and they'll come up soon. It won't take them long, because here's one over here that I just recently planted. Some wildflowers coming up, and I'll pick those and take them in my house for a bouquet. And over there is a yellow hibiscus. It's fixing to pop and bloom. Can you see? Beautiful. It's going to be beautiful. And then swinging around here, not much going on over here. Just a porch sitting and my little tree that stays out, and it's on a timer. The lights come on at, I think they come on about 6 o'clock of the evening and go out at 10. And I see them on through the door while we're sitting in the living room. But our cozy little porch up here is the porch sign that I put up I think I might have put it up last year. Sit and relax, and that's exactly what we do here. And that little table over there, I had thrifted brand new at a yard sale for $20. It is cast iron down there, and I know that it's going to hold up for many, many years. So this is the end of my spring video marathon. I hope you enjoy it. I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.